Good morning, traders. This is your daily market breakdown. We had a unexpected push, very aggressive push into the upside. So huge devaluation of the DXY. And this follows the announcement that the interest rates or the Fed interest rates are going to remain at 3.75%. And as far as I'm aware, it seems like a lot of investors were selling out their sell positions, mainly in the where they were going to increase the interest rate. So that might be what we've seen here. However, in the grand scheme of things, we are still trending down. I have put a question mark here as to whether or not this is a change of character, although technically fine, it can be deemed as a change of character, but I don't think the market is ready to continue into the upside. We could see a potential short-term push here and just grab whatever liquidity is resting above these areas. But overall, I'm still looking for those shorting opportunities. You guys might disagree with me, but I'm still looking for those shorting opportunities across all of the major currency pairs. Heading over to the Euro USD, I already entered this morning into a shorting opportunity. I was frustrated to have been stopped out last night because I wasn't a shorting opportunity yesterday, and you could have seen that on the live stream. But obviously, I got stopped out by that huge surprise or that announcement about the 3.75% interest rate, and all of these buy sellers on the DXY started to sell and liquidate their position. So I am quite hopeful that this one will play out. Even if I do get stopped out from here, I would generally wait and see, because I still think maybe there is a bit of liquidity resting above these highs over here. And then what I would do is re-enter into that position. So I am still looking for those shorting opportunities if that fails. So if I fail on this one and I fail on the next one, then fine, my entire strategy needs to change to begin looking for those long positions instead. Heading over to the USD JPY, so it's come down quite nicely to where we want it to get down, come down to. We've seen that original push up, push down, come up again. And now we're pushing back down toward this 4-hourly demand zone. Yesterday on the live stream, yes, I was looking at this area here. I don't know if you guys can see, because I've got two of these trajectories listed, drawn out here. The first trajectory, we did see an initial push there, and it did, if you entered into a trade there, well done, you would have TP'd actually. Although it wouldn't have it would not have created a new high. That's perfectly fine, because it came down to that trajectory and then it pushed back up. So you would have TP'd if you had entered into a buy position. And now we've seen that it's come down to the second trajectory. And this is where I wanted to take a look a little bit closer on the lower time frames to look at some price action moves, as I believe it's now going to continue into the upside. So I'll be looking for those long positions on USD JPY sometime later today and throughout this week. Heading over to the DXY. So what we have seen is that shock. That's what that is, that initial shock. And what we can also see is, if we listed this out for any of you trade stock chart pattern traders, you can see this beautiful ascending wedge. Obviously, I'm not drawing that out perfectly. And an ascending wedge is a bearish signal, because the price usually comes back down. And any of you liquidity traders would have been looking for the liquidity that was resting below these lows here. And maybe, so this is why I'm a little bit curious I'm a little bit skeptical that on my other major currency pair trades, I might get stopped out again, and it might just go up a little bit more to take that liquidity that I showed you on the euro dollar and the GBP USD, because it could, or the price or the DXY may want to just push itself to grab this liquidity down here before it starts moving aggressively into the upside. So I'm just hedging my bet, really, because if this is the downside and this is the liquidity grab and now we're going up, then great, I'm in a good position. If not, then this is where I'm going to be waiting to then re-enter into that shorting position on my other major currency pairs. Okay, so that's what I'm doing, what I'm looking for at the moment on the DXY. Heading over to gold. So I've not really been playing with gold that much, although we are seeing that it is following our technicals relatively slightly. I was waiting for the price to retrace back into this box. It clearly had done, but instead it's gone up to this 4-hourly supply. So now I would be looking for those shorting opportunities a bit later on the lower time frames. I'll probably wait for the London session to open because I'm a little bit afraid that they might manipulate this to create one more higher high before that continuation into the downside. So I'll just be waiting for the London session, but later on I'll be looking at the lower time frames. Because we're seeing a really nice price action candle here. I mean, just look at that huge volume matched with another bit of bearish volume to push it back down, rejecting gold's claim to produce a new higher high here. Okay, and it's just created this double top at the moment. So I'll just be waiting, like I said, again, for the London session because it might want to push up again or try again, creating a triple top before pushing down. And also, I think that's just a better area to enter is around this area here. I think it's a better area to enter into those shorting opportunities. All right, let's head over to BTC USDT. I'm not really playing around much with it. I mean, on the live stream yesterday, I did say that if the price retraced back into this box, so this, not this one, let me just remove this one. If price did retrace back into this box, I would then wait to see what happens. And as we can see, it retraced into this box and then it started to push back up. And I'm certain on those lower time frames, this would have been a relatively nice entry point. And that's what that is. So I'm not actually in this position. It was just there to say that, okay, if it comes down to this box, let's wait and see what happens on the lower time frames and then enter into a long position targeting these previous highs. So it looks like it's kind of playing out at the moment. And so any of you who had caught that and are currently in a long position, then well done. You're currently in profit at the moment, and hopefully you will TP up around the 65.5k mark. One thing to note is my AUD NZD trade played out quite nicely yesterday. So any of you who are following me on the live stream yesterday, we were waiting for this to TP, and it eventually did around about 8 o'clock on in London time. So pretty pleased with that, and I'll sometime later this week I'll reevaluate, do another analysis on AUD NZD, and I'll try and share that within our community group chats a little bit later. But there it is, traders. That's everything. That's your daily market breakdown.